Hello and welcome. Ooh, which Christmas fabric shall I use today? Psych, it's the gingerbread one. Yay. Yeah, I'm making this gingerbread dress from a Simplicity pattern that I've made it before. But yeah, I thought I'd make another one in Christmas fabric.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
Now, before I walk you through step by step how I made this one, I feel I should tell you that there's another video I made a few months ago, this red and black one. That is by the instructions. It's the same dress, but it's by the instructions. Whereas this one that I'm making now, I instead of using facings, which I don't like, I fully lined the bodice. So it's much more complicated. So if you're just starting out at beginner level, then the other video, I'll put a card up the top, would be more suitable. Whereas this one, you sort of have to understand how dresses are constructed, because I do things in a order that may seem weird, but if you understand how dresses are made, then it will, you'll understand, you'll be able to follow. Anywho, here it is. I've cut out all the bits, and as you can see, I've cut out double sets of the front, those sort of front pieces, because I'm also lining the front. And for the back, in this dress, the back bodice and skirt are one whole giant piece. So I also drafted my own back bodice and just for the lining. So yeah, I cut out one of those as well, and yeah, I had enough of the fabric to do it. So confusingly, the lining is the exact same fabric as the dress, but it's just wearing it, I just love it when the lining matches the actual outer fabric. So yeah, but I will point out when something's lining and something's outer. So yeah, I just sewed together, machines pinned and then sewed together the sleeves, and then and also the ties. It's sort of built in, like the front half is sewn in of the sash, and then you have the ties of the sash. So I made them as well, just because I hate having to stop later on in the process. So I find that if I just do the sleeves and the ties first, then you can sort of put everything together all at once. So yeah, after I machine sewed, then I tucked in under the so there's no raw edges, and I just hemmed the sleeves as well. And once they were done, I just set them aside, and now it's time to do the actual bodice. So first, that middle section, I just sewed those two pieces together, then turned it out so that the right sides were out, and then I sewed them in between both sides. And because, as I said, I'm doing a lining as well as an outer bodice, then both sides had two. And so I just pinned the left side, the lining one and the outer one, to the little insert thing, and machine sewed them. Then I did the other side, and yeah, so I just did one side then the other side, and that way you don't get anything stuck underneath. And then the next thing is to pin the sewn in part of the sash, so the midriff part. So it might be easier just to sew all the bodice bits together, like the left, right, and and the lining and the outer together, and then you have to attach them to the midriff bit. And so there's lots of different notches which don't come up in the camera terribly well, but they're quite easy to work with. So there's two notches sort of around the middle, and you get them, and then there's another double set of notches near the edge, and then there's sort of a gap in the middle, and you have to either gather that down or pleat it down. And I did 4 knife pleats, And yeah, so they sort of go out from the center on each side, so they mirror each other. And once you've done that, then you pin, once you've done the outer midriff to the top of the bodice, then you put the inner, like the internal midriff bit as well, so that once you sew this line, you'll turn both midriffs down and all the raw edges will be encased. So yeah, I machine sewed it once, and then you're supposed to, in the instructions, you're supposed to cut down the seam allowance, but I don't like to do that. I just feel like it's more secure and I like it better the way it is. So I just sewed over it again to sort of compact down all those layers there. And then I turned that down. Now we have loads of footage of me admiring the work that I've done. I don't know why. I think the next thing I do on the front, well, the next thing I do is going to be something to do with the back. But the next thing I do on the front is add the skirt. So you can top stitch this into place if you want. But for me, the weight of the skirt is going to keep everything in place, so I don't do any visible stitch top stitching. So I leave the front for the moment and go on to the back, and I pin the front the lining to the full back piece just around the neckline, and I sew that, machine sew that, and then I just turn them out. So it's, yeah, you can see that that's a sewn line at the top now and fully enclosed. And of course I clipped the curve before I turned them out. And now that you've done that, and you have to turn it out straight away, so the next thing is to attach the skirt to the front. And yeah, I'll probably do this in a different order the next time I make the next one. I could have kept working on the front. So yeah, now the midriff, you take the front outer midriff and I attach the skirt to it. There's 2 pleats that you have to do. I did inverter box pleats, but I think on the next one I'll do actual box pleats. So it just sits a little differently. I think I like both of them, but yeah, I think I'll try both. So anyway, you sew the skirt to the midriff, bottom of the midriff bit, and once that's done, just check it from the outside, and then you have to hand sew it internally because you can't you can't do the machining. So yeah, I just this is it. You just sort of pin it into place first. And there's a seam line that's like, obviously you tuck up the raw edges, and then yeah, you've got a nice clean line to sew along. And then yeah, I just hand sewed this down. I'm not sure if you can see, the stitches are pretty some of them are nice and completely invisible, but some of them are visible. So yeah, I just went along and hand stitched that. Now the whole of the front is one bit, and then the whole of the back is ready to be sewn as well. And then you just have to pin the ties, those long back ties that you pre-made. You just have to pin them in between the front and the back. So they're sort of, I sort of curl them up and put a pin in them so they don't unravel and get stuck in the side or anything. But once you pin them together with those ties in, then you just pin then you sew right down the sides. But you're only sewing the 2 front and the full back, the outer back. You're not sewing the back lining. Front outer, front lining, and back outer. That's it. Do them together. And then once the sides are done, the next thing you have to do is the shoulders. And it might be confusing, but the shoulders are sort of, you have to they're splayed. So you sew right across, and the first half you're sewing is the outer, and the second half you're sewing is the lining. But it's all one thing because you've already sewn that back and the front bit together at the neckline side, if you get what I mean. And then once you've done them, the next thing to do is sew the back lining at the side seams, but you just bring it over, pull it over onto the front side and sew it that way. And then once you've machine sewed the sides, then you pull it back over the whole thing, and magically all the side seams are covered. Ta-da! It's magic! It's not really magic, but it feels like it's magic. And now that everything is encased, it is time to get onto the sleeves, because we've still got open armholes. So from now on, your bodice is going to work as one. So your lining and your outer bodice, if you need to machine sew those together, do it, because they're working as one from now on. So what you have to do is turn the whole dress out, and then and you obviously need to go and get your sleeves because we're attaching them now. And just turn the whole dress out the correct way, and then it's time to attach the sleeves. So here we go. Here's the sleeves that I prepared earlier. And so you just pin them. I just hold them together at the sleeve and the bodice together at the shoulder. I pinch them and then I sort of turn it inside out. So I've got the bulk of the dress the correct way, but I just sort of turn the sleeve stye inside out. And I pin the top, and then I pin the exact bottom, and then I do the bottom half, and then I do the top half. And machine sew it and then finish them the way you normally finish. And we are done. I'm so glad that I did the sleeves first, because having to stop and make the whole sleeves from scratch, like so close to the end, is just, it kills me when I don't pre-make the sleeves. It really does. So now I have to take the gorgeous red dress off this mannequin, and I'm going to put it on me because it's pretty fabulous. And then these are the other two the bamboo dresses. So these three are all from the same pattern. And I don't really like the red and black one, just because it's got because you're supposed to put fusible facing on the midriff part. And if you want it to be corset-like, then absolutely do that. But also make sure you reinforce your ties when you sew those in. And like when you're sewing the sides of your dress, because you'll probably pull them a lot tighter than regular, and you just want that reinforced. But I reinforce mine anyway, but you should do it extra. And this is what the back looks like. And so I just put the bamboo one there for comparison. And I didn't use fusible interfacing at all, mostly because I just don't like it, but also because I like my dresses to be relaxed. I'm jeans and a t-shirt or jeans and yoga pants sort of person, and I tend to make all my dresses sort of like, the first time I make a pattern, I'll do it as is, and then the next, like, it'll just gradually end up being more and more as comfortable as a pair of jeans and a t-shirt sort of thing. So you can see I changed the top of the back. I made it higher so it's more like a t-shirt, and it's just more comfortable, and it doesn't it just also makes the front feel like it's not quite so low. I did increase, this is it from the side, I did increase the middle section of the front a little bit. You can't really tell because the mannequins aren't exactly the same height, but and I think I like this one, the cookie one, the gingerbread one with the bow at the back better. I think the bamboo one looks better with the bow at the front, but because the gingerbread is more of an apparel fabric, it's more like a cotton poplin sort of, whereas the bamboo fabric, that's more like those old-fashioned quilting fabrics, how they're just a little bit thicker. It's like that. So, I think that one looks better at the front, but and I'm really happy with both of them. I absolutely adore them. And so I'm going to make a couple more of these as well. I've already cut them out, and it's sort of, you can't really see the cookies from far, the gingerbread from far away. It's just this lovely peachy pink colour, and then up close you get to see all the delightful detail, and it's so cute. But it's not too cutesy. It's not like, Oh, and of course I decided, because it's gingerbread print, that you have to wear it with the gingerbread jacket. And I really need to finish this jacket. When I first started looking at YouTube, it was to look at beading channels. And beaders never actually appear in their videos. It's just all about the gorgeous, really expensive beads and the highly technical beading. So, no one ever sort of tries to force them to appear in their videos. So, to this day, I still find it really jarring and rude when people in the comments just try to force me to appear in my videos. It's weird. I mean, on the thumbnail, there's no presenter, and the YouTube algorithm doesn't tend to promote, non-presenter videos to people who are unable to watch, don't have the capacity to watch them. So it befuddles me. But anyway, so this is the pattern, and I love it. But I do much prefer it with the lining like this. I think the bodice needs to be lined. I really did not like it with the facing. So I'm making two more. I've got a sort of, it's small to medium size holly with metallic gold, and it's very cute. I'm making it that, and I've also got the vintage candy cane. I was going to use this to make a different pullover dress that's sort of more late last century, from the 80s or 90s. But I just decided I really want it in this particular it's going to look absolutely gorgeous with the gingerbread jacket. I really need to finish that beading. I'm so proud of the way I've done that beading. It's technically really challenging, and I just love it. But it also looks really good, because sometimes those two things they're sort of exclusive. Something will be technically challenging, but not accessible to a general, So, you've got to sort of strike a medium. Anyway, here's my gingerbread print dress, and it's adorable. Oh, I found my pink buffalo boots. They're from Spain, and I just think they'd look gorgeous with this. I also have my Chanel cowboy boots from the Dallas collection, and they're the perfect tan color to go with this. So, if you watch Lady Rebecca Fashions, Rebecca from Lady Rebecca Fashions, she, when I shot all this, I hadn't watched her video yet, but her latest video is 12 outfits of Christmas, and she does she uses all the dresses she's made to make up 12 different outfits. So I thought I'd do the same thing. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, I have to finish this gingerbread jacket next, because I really want to wear it with the gingerbread dress. But I also really want to finish the holly one and the candy cane one in the bamboo style dress, this same simplicity dress, because it's just the most comfortable dress. It's absolutely gorgeous, but you can sort of dress it up a little bit if you tie the bow, tie the sashes in the nice bow at the back, or I really love especially the bamboo one, because I guess it's because the fabric is that little bit stiffer and a little bit weightier. It just looks absolutely gorgeous tied at the front. So anyway, thank you for watching, and as you can guess, I highly recommend this pattern. It's awesome. But yeah, I would recommend that you do a full lining for the bodice rather than just those annoying facings, which will flip out if you don't sew them down. But now I am going to have a nap. But the next sewing related thing I'm going to do is finish that gingerbread jacket. Do all the rest of the beading because it's awesome and I want to wear it.